Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. I'm just about a minute or two late this morning. Maybe it's because it's so nice outside. Maybe it's hard to come back inside. That might be an element, but I want to say good morning to you. If you're on the call, there's not a whole lot to see on the Ultimate Doppler radar this morning. A little bit of ground clutter as we've reached the middle of the week. The Ultimate Doppler radar presented by InstaDry, foundation repair, basement waterproofing, and crawl space encapsulation. They do it all. They even do help out with hail damage. Go to instadry.com, locally owned and operated. You can get a free estimate. It is awesome. By the way, a little bit of ground clutter dancing across the radar here as you see some green areas around the radar site. But there's a couple of showers and storms near Virginia Beach. If you look closely enough, not a whole lot to see there. By the way, I'm also here on YouTube because a lot of folks are excited the fact that I'm expanding my reach. But some say, I can't find you. Where are you? You have to be fancy. You have to do the youtube.com/@ Captain Accurate /@ you had to see that's how it's marked. So anyway, I'm live streaming right now. If you're on this call, let me know because I can also see what you might be commenting here. Maybe you're a YouTube person. I'm just trying to expand my reach. So we're doing both at the same time. So I would call it a nice way to put it, maybe a comment. So if you're over here, I'd say hi. Go back to Facebook. If you're on Facebook this morning, maybe you're an early comment here. Let me know. I do my best to. Oh, there's Carrie. Carrie just popped in. She said, good morning with some sunshine. Glad to see better weather ahead. Everyone have a great day. She's got her cup of coffee and a heart to her as well. So happy to be on YouTube, yay, and happy to be on Facebook at the same time. Boy, you say, you're just finally catching up on that, aren't you? Yeah, a little bit. But we're live streaming on both. I'm trying to make that a normal fixture. And that can sometimes add a minute or two to my start time this morning. Anyway, visibility this morning, not all that bad. Part of the slice of nice that today could be described as is very little fog. We might have more fog tomorrow morning than we have this morning, and I'll illustrate that here coming up at the top of the hour when I'm finished and wrapped up. But temperatures right now, 66 in Knoxville. We have 59 up toward Jackson, Tennessee, while it's 64 in Jackson, Kentucky. 59 Johnson City. These are numbers that you don't typically see this time in the morning. I mean, normal low would be around 68, and we have some numbers that are missing, but you can see, look at Oneida. 59 degrees. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's pretty nice and comfortable in Crossville, Cumberland County. A shout out to you. It's around 60 Tellico Plains, 62 in Jonesville. Those are their starting temperatures, and we'll be lucky to get into the low 80s today. You say, that's insane. That's amazing. How many people you think will be on the golf course today? Somebody asked me last night. I think it was Wayne. Wayne said, oh, I said, well, they'll be too busy mowing the lawn. That's what they may be doing. But as far as our official temperature, we've dropped as low as 65 so far at McGee-Tyson, and Oak Ridge has dropped as low as 63, which is actually the current temperature in Oak Ridge. So if you're on the call, let me know. I'd love to say hi. Hallie Gibson. Haven't seen you on the comment section lately, but Hallie is one of my premium members on Facebook. Glad to have you here. She said, I'm excited for less humidity. It's Good Hair Day. That's another thing we could sell today as a good hair day if you're around a hairstylist. I'm sure they'll agree. Fred says, good morning, David. Beautiful, clear day. Wanda Poe says, like the cool morning and would like it for it to stay. At least we get a couple of days, right? We get today, we get tomorrow, and then once we get into the weekend, you can gradually expect summer to return. But if you're just joining me, either on YouTube, either on Facebook, it's 6:45. We're in the low to mid-60s. Not a bad way to start a Wednesday, especially when sometimes we have to be motivated to get going in the morning. Go outside and say it feels great. Dew point temperatures are in the basement. For this time of year, they're kind of low. Normally, I think it was last time, this time yesterday, we were at 72. So our dew points have dropped 10 degrees. So we're 10 degrees less humid now than we were yesterday morning. That is the feels like, right? When you're talking about the temperatures where it drops into the low 60s, it's a lot more comfortable. And tonight will be pretty nice, and too, we'll be down to about 63 for the overnight low tonight. Now, as far as the humidity, when does it come back? I know that you don't want to focus on that because it's so nice now, but most of the sticky, icky weather in dark green has moved back toward the outer banks of North Carolina. Once we move into 5 o'clock today, hardly any change there. That's good. What about Thursday? Well, let's get into Thursday. Thursday morning looks good. Oh, it's not stuffy. It's the opposite of stuffy. It's comfortable. And even once we move into 5 o'clock on Thursday, there might be a touch more of humidity between Memphis and Nashville if you're traveling there. But Friday, surely some of that humidity comes back in on Friday. Maybe a hint, a little bit more. But it'll try to get back here, I think, for the second half of the weekend. Even Saturday, a little pullback. Saturday morning looks good, but once we move into Sunday, it may very well be coming back from the south and west. So wind speeds currently are 0 in Oak Ridge. We have no wind in Morristown. And where we do have a wind at 8 miles per hour, it is generally a north-northeast wind, it seems, at this point. Back to school, many of us have already been in school now for days on end, but it's important to point out as the buses are riding around just to be extra careful through the school zones, as our temperatures will climb from the 60s right now to around 70 by 10 if there's some recess. I mean, it is a slice of nice after all. Maybe a school teacher might say, ding, 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 hey, this would be a good time to go outside, kind of have a pseudo field trip in the schoolyard. Maybe just something outside. That could be something more inviting because 70 degrees is like room temperature at 10 o'clock this morning. 79 by 2 o'clock, and it wouldn't surprise me if we make it into the low 80s. If we hit 82, wouldn't surprise me. I got to 83 there for Tellico Plains and 80 in Athens. Good morning to you. If you're excited about the day, let me know. Judy Kerr says, good morning. This weather makes planting fall veggies very comfortable. Ooh, so we've got some golf, we have some lawn mowing, and we have some fall veggie planting. I think Judy's onto something. Thank you, Judy. She's one of my premium members. Wanda Post says, not long for the Vols' first game. Go Vols. Hope weather's great for that day. And Janet Potts says, a lot more comfortable and easier to breathe. Enjoy your day, everyone. Happy. And Denise says she's loving this cooler weather. And I don't want to leave out our friends here on YouTube. If I have any comments, let me know. I'll do my best to say hello. Let's see here. No comments yet. You could be the first. If you're watching me on YouTube, let me know because I'll do my best to magnify your voice. As I see, I've got 2 people. That's a big number, especially since most people aren't conditioned to go to YouTube at 6:48 in the morning. But if you are a YouTube fan, I'm sure the notifications are out that we're doing something live this morning. And we're headed toward a high of 81 degrees. All right, sunrise, sunset today. Sun comes up in about 6 minutes from now. Oh, that's something to look forward to. And it goes down now at 8:25. So our days are getting shorter. Have you noticed that a bit? It's not like sunny at 9 o'clock at night anymore. Maybe not as much as we're getting now down to about 8:25. Tracking some clouds. There's just a few wispy clouds moving about. Outside of that, you're going to find a glorious day, plenty of sunshine, a few scattered, we'll call it fair-weathered, cumulus clouds, but no rain expected today, and the humidity stays low all day from start to finish. Oh, yes, I got to talk about the tropics. My premium members are well aware because I talk about weather weeks in advance for them, but there is a disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico that the National Hurricane Center has their eye on, and this is something that I've been alerting my premium members because many of them have family either in Texas, they either live in Texas, or perhaps maybe they've got a destined vacation in Florida still in their calendar. And if that's the case, you might want to take note that there may only be a 20% chance over the next 7 days, but after 7 days that could go up. And we've got 2 disturbances coming off the coast of Africa that could become Emily, Franklin, maybe Gert. Who knows which one forms first? You might say, well, odds are that it's probably the one that says 40%. That could be Emily. And then the next one, 30%, could be Franklin. But what about Gert? Wouldn't that be interesting? Would you board up for a Hurricane Gert? Gertrude? You know, they've done studies, the social scientists, that if it's a female name, people are less likely to board up. Can you believe that? I actually I sat through a talk at a weather conference, but that's a whole different story. I think if you have a hurricane, you board up, or maybe you get out of town. But Hurricane Gert in the Gulf of Mexico, could it happen? Anything's possible because we're now moving into the peak time of hurricane season. And typically, sometimes you get a warning of less than 2 days. That's no good, right? The red areas, usually the lead time for a hurricane, whether it be Gert, maybe Franklin or Emily, is less than 2 days. So wouldn't it be helpful to know that there's a disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico? Who's going to tell you that? Captain Accurate told me. Yes, and if you're a premium member, you've known for days, maybe weeks, because we talk about an update every day with what's the next big thing, usually around 2 o'clock. Love to have you join us. Go to CaptainAccurate.com for more details. But as we get through the tropics, the hurricane season is just now really getting ramped up and started, as we now have 3 disturbances to watch from the eyes of the Hurricane Center. But Emily, Franklin, and Gert would be followed up by Harold thereafter. So we're now getting closer to the peak season, which is August 20 to September 10. And of course, August 20 is this Sunday. Can you believe it? We're already the 16th of August. Now, some of these storms that come off of Africa can sometimes be muted, not always, from the dust that gets kicked up by the high winds. So all that dust, dark brown, coming off of Africa may work its way toward Florida. If you're headed down there by this weekend, you're going to notice probably more orange sunsets. There will be some African dust in the atmosphere pretty abundantly, I might add, over the Sunshine State. So over Florida, more dust down there. We'll watch that too. All right, here it is, 6:52, low humidity today, comfortable on Thursday, and I think it's warmer on Friday, but could we see some drizzle? I think most of the models are dry, but we have a front's coming in. It could spawn a sprinkle. It could spawn some drizzle. I think it's worth having it in at least the conversation, but I didn't put it in the forecast. I just don't think it's highly confident, but if it happens, that would not surprise me. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, temperatures right now 66 degrees. It is comfortable. The winds are out of the north, which is a fantastic direction for a wind when you want the humidity to be low. I have a wind today north-northeast, about say 3 to 8 miles per hour. So we're in the sweet spot. And that's where we're going to be pretty much most, if not all, of today. Now, chance of precipitation, I said maybe a drizzle, some pockets of sprinkles maybe on Friday, but outside of that, it's a bunch of zeros, and you might be saying, yay, I'm happy that I don't have any rain. I can get into the garden and maybe do some lawn mowing either today, tomorrow, and so forth. But anyway, if you're on YouTube, let me know. Love to see you here. Leave your comment, and then if you have also, what do I have over here? Steven Snyder, he says good morning. He's one of my premium members with the Texas Connection. Oh, he says good morning. Deborah says good morning, David, from Bean Station. Love Bean Station. Love to see you, Deborah. Thank you for being here. Brandy says good morning. And Ed says these temperatures sound really great. They do. They do. When you think about the normal high is 88 today, this is going to be about 7 degrees below normal. And we've only had, he says, we've only had 10 days officially in the shade at 90. Now, you might not think that because it's been so humid. And when it's humid, you think it's a lot hotter than it actually is. But I digress. Today is a slice of nice. You might have hearts in your eyes by the end of the day. Say, I just wish all of summer could be like this. But then there's always the someone who says, you know, I like being at the pool. I like it hotter. And you might struggle to get out of the 70s, especially if you're in the plateau today. So I'm anticipating a valley temperature just around 81 degrees, and I'll call it a slice of nice. It is 6:54, Storm Prediction Center time. I want to talk about where severe weather may be growing today through the eyes and the prism of Storm Prediction Center. They've got a couple of hot spots. One would be further north. I call it the nosebleed seats up here in Minneapolis and Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay. Have you been to Thunder Bay? You feel like you're way up in the Great White North, right? You're up practically Canada. But anyway, if you're not in Canada, right? Duluth and Rochester, Minnesota, all a fair game today for some scattered severe storms. There will also be some isolated severe storms today from Tampa to Disney World to Jacksonville and all the way up toward Myrtle Beach. But nothing, and I mean nothing, going on in East Tennessee. We're okay with that. And what about tomorrow? Tomorrow, that chance of isolated severe storms moves toward Michigan. We're talking about Detroit, talking about Toledo, Ohio, and Indianapolis, Indiana. So those are the hot spots, if there are any hot spots tomorrow, because most of the general thunderstorms in light green will persist along the I-95 corridor well to the east. For another day tomorrow, delightful, perfect day, highs tomorrow about 85. Oh, so we're getting a little warmer. And then Friday, if we have any hot spots, some isolated severe storms, we'll be around Boston, Hartford, Portland, Maine, possibly even toward eastern sections of Long Island. Does that help? I hope that helps, especially if you have family in these areas. That's where the weather is going to be. But doesn't just because we don't have any weather doesn't mean there's not weather somewhere going on in the U.S. And that's pretty much where it's going to be at this point. Wanda Poe's got a note. I'm going to check her comment real quick. She said, did anyone see on Facebook, someone took a picture of the sky that was orange tea? David would love to make it. Well, if you did see it, I'll have to keep looking for it. I did see some really cool pictures, I guess it was from 2 nights ago, from all the glow. We had storms coming in, the sun was setting to the west, so those can sometimes be cool. I also want to see if you're on note. Leave me a comment in the live chat on Facebook and on YouTube. YouTube, I'm actually here on this page too, just juggling between multiple tabs and wanted to get that information out there. And subscribe to my channel because I continue to grow, and I think it helps expand the reach to get the word out for those that are interested in different platforms. Here's the Futurecast. High pressure to the far west, a beautiful day, and any rain really that we've seen thus far is up toward Virginia Beach. that's kind of dancing along the boundary that is stalling. Meanwhile, we head into tonight, 11 o'clock, rains on the eastern shore of perhaps North Carolina as well as South Carolina. But tomorrow morning, it's beautiful and looks pretty good. But what about this sprinkle drizzle idea? Well, this is about 1 o'clock, 1:15 Friday morning. Front's approaching. Yeah, I see a little bit of green. There's not a lot there, is it? Well, I see a little bit of green there in the Smokies, David, but that's 4:30, and you may be sleeping through it. That's why I say there's not a whole lot of evidence to suggest showers, but when you get a front coming through this time of year, it's possible. It could spawn a little bit of moisture. It does look like it flares up maybe near Atlanta by midday on Friday. And it's now 6:57. I'm going to finish on time, even though I might have started a minute or two late. Isn't that funny? I mean, there's so much to talk about, but yet, because it's so beautiful, I think this is what most are focused on in the short term. Let me get you to the Futurecast. Midday today, we should easily be in the mid-70s. So for some of you, Crossville, 71. You'll notice the scattered clouds here. These are the cumulus clouds that will develop through the course of the morning as it starts to warm back up. Sevierville, around 73 at lunchtime. Middlesboro, Bell County, about 71 degrees at lunchtime. And then we finish the day anywhere from the mid-70s plateau, around 80, 81 from Knoxville, Oak Ridge, about 81 from Maryville, Alcoa. Just a delightful day. I can't underscore that enough. We head into tonight, we're going to be dropping into the upper 50s again for places like Crossville, Oneida, and Jamestown. Could easily be in the low 60s, Oak Ridge, and then we'll warm back up into and around, say, 85 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Plenty of sun, a few fair weather clouds. That would be about it. I think you're going to really like the next couple of days. But you may notice slowly a little bit of cloud cover there coming in on Thursday night, Friday morning. That's where they have the possibility for some pockets of drizzle. All right, here's your forecast for today. Low humidity, plenty of sunshine, a delightful day, just no getting around it. Ooh, and I got another note. I got to say, I see now I've got one more added person who's watching on YouTube. So leave me a comment. You could be the first. I will shout you out and give you a big hello. But back on Facebook, as I'm doing both, you can see Marilyn Bell says, happy Wednesday, enjoy your day, as to you as well. Marilyn, one of my premium members, thankful for all of them, and thankful for all of you for spending some time with me this morning. It is 6:59. I'm going to be done here in about 60 seconds. I think I can name that tune. How about 77 today in Wartburg? Plenty of sun, low humidity. Newport, Del Rio, Cosby. Parrotsville, about 81. Dandridge, Morristown, Talbot, White Pine, 80. 81 in about, say, Maryville, Alcoa, 83 Tellico Plains, Madisonville, about 80 for Jacksboro and La Follette this afternoon. And it's really not that quote-unquote hot. If you head toward Chattanooga, they're about 83 today and about 83 for Memphis. Tonight's another slice of nice. Mostly clear, but there could be some patches of fog. Well, sometimes you say that, Aldridge, but that doesn't really help. Could you show me something? What's it look like? Well, that's a great question. Let's go ahead and fast forward to about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And some of the models put some of the fog that develops tomorrow. It may be patchy, but it puts it right through Knoxville, Southern Valley, Plateau, up into southeast Kentucky, and maybe parts of the Smokies. So, again, not going to be too debilitating, but we'll keep an eye on it. Again, it's patchy, but it is a possibility. Tomorrow, maybe more so than today. 62, our low temperature is my expectation in Oak Ridge, Morristown, Newport. 60 for Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, about 57 Crossville, Cumberland County, Lake Tansy, and Fairfield Glade. Oh, and there's lots of golf in Crossville. Yes, you can play golf today and tomorrow. 59 in Jamestown, 58 in Oneida. You can always play golf, but I mean, this might be more ideal to get out on the course. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. 85 tomorrow, warm sunshine, maybe a sprinkle on Friday, hazy sun and warmer on Saturday. We're at least in the upper 80s. But I do think the 90s come back, so don't let anybody say, oh, summer's gone. Oh, I heard it's gone. It's not gone. It's coming back. Look, that's a heat wave. 1, 2, 3. And it's well over 90. So if we get 3 days at 90, you say, hey, we've got a late August heat wave. But it's also the time to watch the Gulf of Mexico. Ooh, if you just joined me late, that makes no sense. But if you've been with me for the whole time, there's a possible disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico that could produce either a lot of rain, become a tropical storm, maybe a hurricane. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if something develops down there, and we'll be watching that very, very closely. But as we look at these numbers, once again, just know that things will be changing over time. A couple of notes from Darcy. She says it's a cool froggy morning. Ooh, maybe do you have some frogs? You have some frogs. That's kind of cool. She put yay. And Felicia says, happy Wednesday. Remember early release day for Knox County kiddos. That's right. They're, what is it, 1:30 or so? I'm guessing. Have a great day. You want to make sure that if you're in the school zones, you think it's lunchtime, maybe from noon to 1:30 or sometime like that, but there'll be more kiddos moving about a little earlier today, something to take note. By the way, if you want to check out my Louisville, Tennessee pictures I took on Monday, I wish you would. There's a lot about Louisville that I didn't even know, and I learn every time. People think I say this every time for a reason. You can't take 80 pictures of a town of any size and not learn something you didn't know before, and that's my situation. But I was joined by one of my premium members, Christian Burns. They're in the red. He's a Maryville tennis golfer. He's a tennis pro. I say golf because I was talking about golf a moment ago, but Christian Burns is a tennis pro there at Maryville High School, and he came by from nearby Maryville to support Louisville and to shine a light on a great town. I got 80 pictures, or just about 80 pictures there online. This is the number 37 towns I've done now consecutively, usually once a week. I've had a few vacation days where I've missed, or either severe weather pushed me back. In fact, I did Oak Ridge last week on a Wednesday because of all the tornadoes and storms we had on that Monday. But anyway, Kodak, Friendsville, White Pine, Greenville, these are some of the towns you can find by clicking the hashtag Cap Accurate Tennessee Spotlights, and you can pick and choose which one you want to see. Maybe it's Bean Station. We had somebody watching from Bean Station this morning. That was the number 2 spotlight I did, and these go back since October 17th of last year with Seymour. So a lot of fun these pictures are, and they're all part of the premium service because they vote, my premium members vote on where I'm going to go. Where should Captain Accurate go next? And so they vote. We'll put out a couple of towns, people vote. It's real fun and simple. And then sometimes, like Christian Burns, they'll just show up and say, hey, I'd like to get in the selfie, say hello. So anyway, lots of fun. We're also doing weeks in advance for weather, tropics, and soon, he says soon, we're going to talk about snow. Well, are you going to tell us? Well, you're going to have to be on premium. Premium's going to find out long before you. In fact, last year, I don't even think I released my winter weather outlook. It was only on the premium side. So go to CaptainAccurate.com, sign up. It's only 16 cents a day or $4.99 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee these days. So I think you'll be impressed, but you can always cancel at any time. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.